So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and update 32.2 Luas spray has finally released and added a bunch of new stuff into the game. So let's check it out, shall we?
To Lua.
Actually, I lied. First, some disclosure. So I am a Warframe partner, so I got a bunch of stuff for free. Okay? Okay. So the star of this update is of course the new Warframe Voruna. I was actually sponsored to review Voruna on the test cluster, so I already have a full review out on my channel and I will link it in the video description. But this update also added 4 new weapons into the game. The first one is Perigale. This is a burst fire sniper rifle that does primarily puncture damage and it has good crit and decent status. The second one is Sarafang, something World of Warcraft. This is a heavy blade that does primarily slash damage. It has decent crit and status and it's very fast. It has base attack speed of 1.17. In at number 3 we have the Tenet Ferox, and finally at number 4 we have the Tenet Plinks. I really don't want to go too in depth here as this is just a basic overview and I will make full videos for all of these weapons in the future. You can get all the bits and bobs for Voruna and her 2 weapons from the 2 new conjunction survival missions that have been added to Lua. Those are Uvarium and Circulus. This is a special kind of survival where you have a dude walking around with a big bubble around him that buffs you, and you can use a necramech here, though it's fairly limited as it has a 2-minute duration with a 10-minute cooldown. The rotation rewards are also completely different from a regular survival, as the later rotations reward all the bits and bobs for Voruna and her weapons, as well as 4 new arcanes, and the filler is a new resource called Luathrax Plasm. This Luathrax Plasm has 2 main uses. The first one is for crafting and the second one is for trading, because if you go to Yonta in the Chrysalith on Zariman, she has a new section for trading Luathrax Plasm. This is basically a pity system for the survival, as the things you can buy are the things that drop from there. So that's Voruna and all the bits you need for her, all the stuff you need for her weapons, and the 4 new arcanes. Those are Arcane Blessing, which gives you stacking health whenever you pick up a health orb, Arcane Rise, which gives you a chance to increase your damage with a primary weapon on a reload, Primary Frostbite, which gives you stacking crit damage and multi-shot when you proc cold status effects with your primary weapon, and Conjunction Voltage. This is for a secondary weapon and it gives you stacking reload speed and multi-shot when you proc electricity. And last but not least, she's also selling the Luas Circular Scene for Captura. And let us quickly circle back to the survival one last time, because there's one more special thing about it, and that's the fact that every 5 minutes a special Thrax squad will spawn to sabotage your life support. You want to kill these ASAP because, well, not breathing isn't really compatible with life, and they have a chance to drop the Luathrax Plasm as well. Next to the menu we have Nightwave, because there's a new season which is not as Mix Volume 3. This is pretty standard Nightwave stuff, you know, it has some weapon augments, some skins, some noggles, that kind of stuff. So definitely check that out as well. Now this update also reworked Grendel, our chunk boy extraordinaire. I'm not gonna go into detail here because this is a video in and of itself. I'm just letting you know that this is a thing that also happened with this update and I'll make a full video about it later. And the same goes for Yoreli, as they changed a few of her abilities too. Moving on from there, we have Warframe Augment buffs part 3, the final part, and this includes augments for Sarin, Titania, Trinity, Valkyr, Vauban, Volt, Wisp, Wukong, Zaku, and Zephyr. This is once again gonna be its own video because just like pretty much everything else in this update, it's too damn big to put into an overview. So let's actually talk about something that's not too big. Eximus changes. The TLDR is they buffed up the spawn rate of Eximus, so you're gonna see more Eximus units in your missions, and they also have more health now. Though luckily this does not affect Overguard. Their Overguard is still the same, it's just the health underneath the Overguard is higher. You're also gonna encounter them much sooner, as previously some mission types would not spawn them for the first 5-ish minutes. And the final sort of what I consider to be a big thing that was added with this update is this right here, which is an armor indicator that you will see next to the enemy's health bar. This is quite neat as it shows you how much armor the enemy has left, roughly. And on top of that, we also got this right here, which is a new display for enemies' resistances. So for example, you're fighting a sentient and they become resistant to heat damage, this is what it's gonna look like now, which just looks much better. Now, this is of course not everything that was added with this update. They tweaked semi-automatic weapons and there's a bunch of random fixes and changes, but this is sort of what I consider to be the big stuff. So as always guys, I thank you very much for watching, I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.